quick question. What do Halley's Comet, and the constellation of Orion, have in common? The answer is this. In the month of October through the early part of November, there will be an exciting meteor shower taking place in the night sky. It's called the Orionid Meter Shower. The reason why it's called this is because these meteors tend to originate from the constellation of Orion the Hunter, the most recognizable constellation in the sky during this time of year. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Orion the Hunter, it looks like this. It's a large group of stars, and it is best identified by a row of 3 stars that represent Orion's belt. As you look upward, you should see 2 more bright stars that represent Orion's shoulders. Then, as you look below the belt, you should see 2 more bright stars. These stars represent the legs of Orion. As you observe this constellation on a clear night, away from city lights and other sources of light that may affect your visibility, you will begin to notice streaks of light within and around Orion. Those streaks of light are the meteors. At this point, you might be asking yourself, sure, you explained what Orion is, but what does that have to do with Halley's Comet? Well, as it turns out, these meteors are actually pieces of that comet. Let's explain this. Halley's Comet travels by the Earth once every 75 to 76 years. Its last visit was way back in 1986. It will not be seen again until 2061. As the comet travels along its path around the Sun, it leaves small pieces of itself behind. It's almost like when you throw a snowball at someone, and you have pieces of snow and ice flying off as you throw it. Now these little pieces are traveling at speeds up to about 41 miles per second. They eventually get vaporized from friction, which manifests itself in the form of streaks of light in the sky, which we call meteors. The best part about observing this event is that you don't need special equipment, like binoculars or a telescope. However, it is best to put yourself in the right conditions in order to see it properly. In other words, if you live in a big city, like New York or Los Angeles, it might be a bit challenging to see anything, because street lights and lights from skyscrapers will affect your visibility, unless you have access to a planetarium where you can see it using special equipment. On the other hand, if you live in the country, or any area where you have lots of trees and mountains, these are ideal conditions for observing the meteor shower. Lastly, another thing to consider is the moon. During this time of the month, the moon is in its waxing phase, and it will appear as a crescent. Because the moon is relatively bright in comparison to the stars, this might pose some challenges, depending on where its position is. In order to see the maximum effects of the meteor shower, it's best to view it this weekend, although the latter dates are still good, as its ending date is around November 7th. If you get a chance to witness this, leave a comment below and let us know what you saw. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, smash the like button, and hit the notification bell for future video updates. As always, keep your eyes to the skies.